Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy. If you're new here, I'm a personal trainer and love doing things outdoors. And today's video, we are going to be packing for a 5-day backpacking trip that I'm going on with my dad. We're doing a couple sections of the Colorado Trail because we're gonna do a through hike sometime in the near future. So we're doing these sections, and then this is my current setup. We're gonna see how everything goes this go around, what we need to change for that 400-mile backpacking trip. So if you don't know, the Colorado Trail basically goes from Denver, Colorado to Durango, Colorado through the Rocky Mountains, and we're doing the last 4 sections of it coming back to Durango. So let's go ahead and get packing. Okay, so first things first, we've got our backpack, backpacking backpack. I have the Osprey Kite 46-liter women's. I love this pack because the Osprey brand women's backpacks will have different sizes so that you can have it fitted more towards, like if you have a longer torso, shorter torso, and so on and so forth. They have different ones. This is the very first one I got so many years ago, and it's in such good shape. So here it is, and let's get started filling this thing up. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is put my sleeping bag in there. I don't have it in any kind of stuff sack. I just didn't feel like I need to. My backpack is already small as it is, and I have to put a bear canister in it and all of that. So I am using, which will probably change when we do the through hike, this Ozark Trail super lightweight, it's really thin as well, sleeping bag. And I am just gonna shove it kind of in the bottom pocket of the backpack so that I can put my bear canister in the top, and I'll show you how I put everything in there as well. Next up is going to be the bear canister. It's basically a plastic container that seals. Here's the top. There are some screws that sits on top there to keep it closed, and it helps seal in any scents and anything like that to prevent a bear from being attracted to wherever you're camping. When you are when you are backpacking, typically you are in the wilderness, not a regular camping area or anything like that. You're just in like kind of a random spot that you scour out here and there at the end of the day to rest and relax until the next day's part of that trip. So you really want to make sure that you have something to make sure that the bears cannot get to your food. Not only will it prevent them being attracted to your camp, it will also help to protect your food from getting destroyed, because when you're out on the trail, you're probably not going to have any additional food than you really need. Typically you want to carry as much as you're going to use only, and nothing extra. On our trip we are going to have some extra food because we're not sure if we're going to need one extra day, whatever it may be. We are giving ourselves one extra day just in case we do absolutely need it, so we will have some additional food for that. But for the most part, you're gonna kind of plan out, and I'll go over all my food here in a moment, but that way you're not losing any food, your camp is protected, your life is protected, because bears are wild animals, they're unpredictable. So you would like to keep your food as secure and smell proof basically as possible. It's such a long way to describe all that, but it's very important. So let me show you what all I put in there. Pretty much you put everything that could have some type of scent, so like toothpaste, deodorant, whatever, that could potentially have some kind of scent should go in this bear can as well. So I'll go over everything that I'm putting in mine as well. And then I do want to kind of note, I had this quarter taped to it. It's like an old messed up quarter that they can't use in circulation or whatever. So we're using that to open up the lid here, because they're just basically like a flat head. But I also have this multi-tool that has this file that actually fits perfectly. So I'm gonna just take that off and use this, because I'll have it with me anyway. It's not gonna really adjust or affect anything in terms of my weight, but it's just one less little thing I have to keep track of. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what order I'm gonna like actually put everything in here, but it may change. This go around is just gonna give us an idea of how we'll be able to do all the things for our through hike when we do plan to do that. Gotta have some kind of coffee. So I've got this pour over, collapsible pour over little contraption, I don't know. And then I've got a titanium, which is really light and it cools quickly, titanium cup. I actually have 2 of those. This one will sit inside of there. It's kind of overkill to have 2 for just myself, but because I'm doing this pour over, I need 2. So I need to boil water and pour it over the coffee grounds over a cup. So I kind of need both. I may change to only just straight instant coffee or something like that if for some reason I find that this is annoying this trip. Oh, welcome Tater. Okay, bye buddy. Yeah, so this trip, if I find that having the 2 cups is annoying and I don't actually want to do the pour over style coffee every single day, then I will switch it up when we do our through hike later on. But this trip, I'm just gonna see how this goes. All right, so next up is going to be the stove. So this is the camping stove that I have. I don't remember the brand name. The bag says MSR. I'll figure it out and link it below. We got it at a local outdoors store nearby. I think it's actually a big brand. I just can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. And then a fuel blend. I think it's like a combo of propane and butane. I got the small one so that it's a lot lighter than the bigger one, and all it does is it just twists on to the top there, and then these little things just go out so that it can hold your cup. So we've got that, and then also this little stand that flips out like so. This is to help keep this, so it'll clip in there. I'm not going to clip it in there because it's actually a little difficult to get on and off. And it has the 2 sizes, so you can see the little notches for that. That's for the bigger size canister, and having this little guy for the small fuel canister is pretty helpful, so that if you're not on a completely level surface, it will help keep it level, especially when you're boiling water. This one's pretty good, cool. It's got a igniter on it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm actually a little low on fuel. I don't know how much I have. I might get another one for this trip, or I just might let it be, and if I run out, I run out. My dad will have his, whatever. I'll double check with him first, see what he thinks before I absolutely decide that. So if he's bringing like a half empty one too, then I don't know, I might buy another one. That's one thing you do want to do before you go backpacking, is check all your gear, especially stuff like this. You don't want to run out of your propane halfway through your trip and all of your meals require boiled water. So you wouldn't have a way to do that. With the cook stuff, I've got a bandana and a titanium long-handled spork. It's really lightweight, and then all of our meals are going to be boil in a bag, dried meals. So this makes it so much easier to eat with the long handle, and titanium is super light. So That is basically like my cook kit stuff, and then let me show you how like compact it becomes once I put it all back together. Okay, so I've got the 2 cups. They nest inside each other. And then I've got my stove in its little carrying case. A lot of people will just throw away those little things, but because it's going to be stored inside of a different type of metal, I don't want metal on metal to corrode, which then leads me to how I put this bandana. I just kind of wrap it up just a bit. The bandana is good for like if the handles are hot or the side of the cup, drying it off, that kind of thing. So this is my entire stove, and then I've got the fuel canister, my coffee pour over, and my spork. And I'm just gonna put all of this in the bottom of my bear can. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it all in the bottom. That might become annoying, but either way, I'm gonna be moving it in and out multiple times, digging in there, whatever, throughout the trip. So for now, that's where I'm gonna start. Okay, so here is all of it. I ended up getting a little bit so that the fuel canister is not sitting directly onto the cup, and then I just tied it on the side and then put my spork through there, and then I'm gonna put that in my bear canister as well. And then the next thing I have is this insulated thing. I made it out of some insulated packing material, packing folders, whatever they're called. And the ones I had gotten, the inside was like the clear plastic bubbles. So I ended up putting one inside of it and one on the outside to keep so that it's super insulated. It's very helpful to have when you are making boil only meals. So for our food, my dad will he's making us our food, so he's dehydrating a lot of the meals, so he'll make some recipes. I have one he previously had made before right here. So this is a beef stew, and it's got dried potatoes, dried ground beef, dried veggies. So he made this, he dehydrated everything, and so he's making us more. So I don't have a whole lot of the actual meals because he's gonna bring those to the trailhead with, and then we'll divide up whatever we need to. But I've got these, I'm gonna bring them as extra for our extra day, just in case we need something just a little more. But he puts them in the quart size freezer bags, and what you do is you put that inside of this insulation pack, open it up, pour your hot water in there, close it up, and then it keeps it insulated so that the food rehydrates again. So it makes it a lot faster to get to your meal, especially at the end of the night when you have been hiking all day long and you set up camp and you're just ready to eat. So that way you can get this started even before you start setting up camp. You can get this going, let it sit, set up your camp. Hey, guess what? Dinner's probably ready. That's why I really like this, because when I'm hungry, I kind of want it like now. So I find these are very helpful. A lot of backpackers think they're unnecessary. I like it. So for food, I have everything kind of separated out for each day so that I don't run into any issues of eating everything or eating my snacks or something too fast. So I just have everything separated by day. Like I said, I don't have like my lunch or my dinner meals because my dad's making those probably right now. He said he was gonna do it at the time that I'm filming this, and then he'll bring them with when we meet up at the trailhead when we are getting ready to leave. So I've got an empty plastic bag, and what I'm bringing is some oatmeal packets, which I typically would take these out and put them in a quart-sized freezer bag, but I didn't have any, so my dad's gonna bring some for me because I forgot to buy some and he happens to have extra. So I've got these. I've got some trail mix, which is just basically a deluxe nut mix and some peanut butter M&Ms. I'm not a fan of pre-made trail mix because they have too many peanuts and raisins, and I like peanuts and raisins. I just don't like as many peanuts and raisins that are in those pre-made mixes. I don't know about you, but it's too much, and they're cheap, so I understand why they end up with them in there. I just don't like them, so I usually make my own mix. And this go around, I simply just did a nut mix and peanut butter M&Ms because peanut butter M&Ms are my favorite. And then I'm just bringing like a protein kind of granola bar, some gummy candies. I've got gummy worms and peach rings, and then electrolytes and creatine, which I take every single day anyway. It's helpful to replenish those electrolytes, especially because I work out every single day. I'm running almost every day right now, and when you're hiking you're gonna be sweating, whatever, so it's gonna replenish those. And then creatine has so many other benefits to muscle soreness, development, all that good stuff. You can do your own research. I've done tons as well, but creatine's important, or creatine's helpful as well, and I take it every single day. So I'm gonna continue that on the trail as well. And so I'm just gonna put all of that into one baggie, and then I will have them all for each day. I've got basically my breakfast and all my snacks each in their own individual bag for each day, and then I just put them all in one big bag. I can use this big bag as like a trash bag as well, so I can take every single one of these out and put them in my bear can separately, or whatever I may need to do just as we go along. I will do that. And then I'm going to have my coffee. So what I did was these little snack size baggies that I have, for some reason, had like little holes in them. So typically what I would have done was taken what I'm going to use each day and put them in each individual bag as well. But I didn't want it to make a giant mess. So I've got one bag of coffee grounds. In each one of these I have collagen powder and powdered milk and instant coffee cappuccino mix. I've done trips where I just take that instant coffee cappuccino mix with me, and I like sweet coffee, but that one is just way too sweet for me for some reason. So not a fan of it by myself, so I'm using it as like a coffee creamer, and I added extra powdered milk, so when I brew my coffee with that pour over system that I have, I will add in the powder mix I just had into my cup and then stir it up from there. So I did individual ones for each day in here, and then some coffee grounds in a separate one. I'll just use my little spork thing to like measure it out each day. Okay, so in my actual first aid kit, I'm gonna have some panty liners because just in case, unfortunately, as a woman, stuff you gotta think about. And then I've got some over-the-counter stuff, ibuprofen, Aleve, Pepto tablets, and Benadryl. My dad says this is probably way more than I need. He told me to measure out specifically like the maximum dose that is recommended to take each every day and leave it like this, but I don't know, I just didn't feel like redoing it. So that's probably overkill, and that is a good suggestion, just to make sure that you have only what you need. You probably won't use the maximum recommended amount like ever, so that's a good tip. And then I've got some I don't know if you can see that, antibacterial cream in a little packet, and then some alcohol wipes. I've got a couple of those, and then just some band-aids. I've got a few here, and then some moleskin I cut up, and then I've already got like one small piece in there already cut up. This is great for not only preventing blisters, but also when you do get a blister. So a good tip my dad always has is to put a band-aid or even like moleskin on before, like as you feel like a hot spot coming on, like, ooh, I think my shoe is rubbing just a little, or I don't know, your pack is rubbing, or whatever else you may need. It's something that's helpful to also prevent getting those blisters so that you're not miserable your entire trip, especially if it happens early on. And then that is pretty much my first aid kit in terms of that I will keep in the top of my pack. But what I will add into my bear can is stuff that may have some kind of scent or my own like consumables kind of thing. So I ended up being able to fit my entire first aid kit in this little pouch that I will put somewhere that's going to be accessible if I need it in case of emergency real quick in my pack. And then for my other stuff that I'm going to put inside of the bear can is going to be all of like my daily vitamins and medications. I've already taken them all out and put them in individual baggies. So I will put those in here, and then I wear contacts, and then I've got my toothbrush. I just have one of these travel toothbrushes. I've used this one for a little while. I just ran it through the dishwasher to sanitize it. There's many different ways you can do that. And then I ran out of a travel size toothpaste because normally, like especially on this shorter of a trip, I would bring like one that's like half full just to save some weight. But this go around, I don't have a partially used one, which is fine. So I'm going to take off the little plasticky thingy or the foil thingy protecting it, just so I don't have to worry about that trash while I am out. And then I just got a travel size spray deodorant. That's everything that's going in my bear can as a consumable slash smellable, anything that I don't want a bear to get hold of or be able to smell or be attracted to in any kind of way. So that will go in there. Here I did add one thing that's a personal thing that may not be important to some, but I just added these makeup wipes. They're just the Kroger brand because I've been breaking out a lot, so I just want to help get ahead of that and try to prevent any additional breakouts from happening. So the next thing up is going to be a sleeping pad. So this just blows up. It's probably about this thick, and then I will use that in, okay, yeah, so I'm going to be sleeping in a hammock instead of a tent. So wherever there's trees, I'll be able to set this up. I'm not going to take it out and show you. And then a tarp that goes over it so that you are able to stay dry in case it rains. In the event that there are no trees to set up the hammock, I'm able to set up this tarp using my trekking poles as well. You just stick them upside down and kind of use the guy lines to hold it tight, and just set up my sleeping pad under that and basically just sleep outside. Not a big deal. Definitely makes my pack a lot lighter than trying to carry a tent, and most super ultralight single person tents are so expensive. So this is what I'm doing for this trip. Moving on to clothes. So I'm trying to be a little minimal with how much clothes I'm bringing. I'm not going to take these ones out of this little bag. It's like a mesh bag, so it's socks and underwear, so in case for whatever reason these need like to air out, I can tie it to the outside of my pack or something, and it can do that, like if I get a sock wet or whatever. But what I'm bringing is enough underwear. I'll wear one pair twice, and then for socks I'm wearing one pair, and then I'm bringing 2 pairs to sleep in. So I like to layer up because my feet get cold pretty easily, so I'm bringing 2 pairs to sleep in, and then on my hammock I will set out my socks that I wore the previous day, so that they can kind of air out and dry from all the sweat and whatever, and then I'll wear those again the next day, and then pack up my socks for sleeping in my pack. Then the rest of what I am bringing is in this bag. So I've got a pair of leggings, so those will be like my base layer, and then I've got some sweats, and then my pants that I will be wearing hiking. If I choose to wear pants, I'm gonna start off the day with shorts, so it's another layer that I could utilize in case I get cold. So I'll have 3 layers to wear at night, and then a beanie. I like to fold this down and cover my eyes and just like the tip of my nose, and then I can still breathe, and that keeps me pretty warm that way. So that's everything that's going in my pack for clothes. And then one extra thing is a puffer jacket, so I can make sure I stay warm at night, especially because that sleeping bag I'm bringing is very thin, so I'm not sure exactly how warm I'll be. I may not need all these layers. When I do my through hike, I'm going to invest in a really nice warm down sleeping bag, so I don't have to have as many layers, but it's nice to have the option for layers in case I do get cold, because I tend to run on the cold side when I sleep, and if I'm cold I can't sleep, and when you're backpacking you need to make sure that you're able to sleep, otherwise your next day you're going to be slower, miserable, so on and so forth. Okay, so moving on to all of the like miscellaneous little things. I've got my hydration water bladder thing. This one is the 3-liter one from Osprey. I am a little overkill when it comes to carrying water. I do carry probably more than I actually need, so I've got that 3-liter water here, and then I've got 2-liter bottles here. I've reused these a couple of times, so I'll fill one up, probably freeze it the day before or whatever, so that I have cold water to start off with. I know it doesn't end up being that. And then I've got this one attached to my Sawyer water filter that I will fill this guy up, take it, squeeze it into here or here to have filtered water while we are on the trail. Filtered safe water, that is. This filter makes it so that the water is safe. It filters out like bacteria, anything that can make you sick, anything like that. It is very important when you're backpacking. So I use this so I can squeeze it into the other ones, and then I just typically leave it attached. So this one will always just be my unfiltered water, filtered water, filtered water, and then like when I want my electrolytes and creatine, I will just put it in this, drink out of here for the day, and then refill it, you know, as needed. And then next up I've got a flashlight, lip balm with SPF. I just have this one on hand. I'm not a huge fan of lip balm with SPF, but when my lips are chapped and sunburned, like, it's uncomfortable, so I'm gonna try to be good about putting that on. And then sunscreen, I'm just bringing this whole thing because I burn super easily and need to make sure I've got sunscreen, so that is a must. And then I've got this Garmin Mini, which basically allows us to check in with family at home, just to let them know, hey, we're doing good, we're stopping for the day, whatever it may be. The one that I have is the Garmin Mini, and I purchased the subscription for it. So it makes it so that you are able to text via satellite when you don't have any cell service out in the wilderness. So next up, I've got my inhaler. I've got asthma, but I don't often need it more recently because I've been trying to improve my cardiovascular endurance and that kind of thing. So I've actually been really good about it. But once we get into higher elevation, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be, so I may need this. So then next I've got my little multi-tool, which I kind of already showed. So it's like pliers, like it's got all the gadgets. This may be more than actually needed. They make a lot more compact ones, which I think my dad has one on there. So like there's a bunch of different things. There's a knife, a screwdriver. Oh, there's an actual flathead screwdriver, so I don't necessarily need to use this, but that seemed to work out pretty good for my bear can as well. And then so next up is rain protection. So that's pretty important. My pack has a cover on it that's on the bottom, and then it covers the whole thing. And then I have this rain jacket that just folds up into itself, which I've used in the past and is awesome. So next up is the fun topic. So going to the restroom while on the trail. So basically you want to think about leave no trace, like the whole trip, leave no trace. Kind of don't leave everything kind of better than you found it, essentially. So when you're hiking, guys have it easier. They're able to just, you know, pee real quick. But as a female, it's a little harder, and we do have to worry about being able to wipe. But then what do you do with the toilet paper? So as gross as it is, I'm gonna have a spare bandana and then have it attached to my pack on the outside, so while I'm hiking, it dries. Gross? Yeah, absolutely. And then when you do number 2, you dig a hole, and then these are plant-based, so they're biodegradable, which is nice. I believe that is all of my stuff that I am going to be packing. All right, thank you so much for watching this pack with me video for our backpacking trip. My dad and I are going together, and we are going to be gone for about 5 days, 5 nights. We have an extra day for a buffer in case we need it, because we are hiking just over 70 miles, so we'll be able to do 14-mile days basically on average. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and if you liked this video, I have a vlog coming for when we are on this trip. I'll have that up next, and then follow me on my socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all myactivelifestacey, and then like and subscribe and comment below. That will help me so much in the future as my channel grows, since I'm so new. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.